Howdy everyone, and welcome back to The More You Grow. Today is one of those beautiful days outside where I had to get out here and do some projects or I was going to blow up. I couldn't stand it anymore. So I thought I'd bring y'all back here and show you some of the plans I've got for the raised beds back here. Because for the most part on this channel, you've seen me focus on edible things like vegetables, fruit, and things like sugarcane, ginger. You've seen it all before on here. But after seeing the lecture by Lisa Ziegler at Mother Earth News Fair called Vegetables Love Flowers, it really made me realize that flowers are an important thing to incorporate into vegetable and production systems. They provide awesome things like pollinator support, they add beauty to the landscape, and then there's something I never really thought about. They could provide another source of revenue and not really take up any more space. I never really thought about the aspect of cut flower production and providing that to like farmers markets, to maybe the floral shops here in town. There's a lot of options there that I never really considered. So this year I'm making an effort and I'm inspired. The idea's in my head and it's not gonna leave. So I'm gonna try planting some flower seeds today, and I have a super awesome idea for this raised bed right back here. So I'm gonna bring y'all along, show y'all what I've got planned, and we can go check it out. Alright guys, I'm gonna start over here because I'm really excited about the project that I came up for this raised bed. What I wanna do is I wanna plant this full of different kinds of bulbs and treat this kind of like a bulb nursery where I can let these divide out, I can propagate these more, maybe even breed my own hybrids of some sort. I've learned how to do that recently, so I'm excited to try that. And I want to be able to make more bulbs. I want to be able to grow more of the bulbs without having to go buy more. That way I can go plant those out maybe at the new place and start growing more cut flowers out there. Or I could potentially sell some of these to where other people can grow them at their houses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant this full of bulbs. I've got gladiolas here. I've got like 50 gladiola bulbs. That's a lot, but we're going to have fun doing it. And I've got some lilies here. I'm going to try these out. They're a little bit late to be planting these, but I'm going to try it anyways. So let's get into it and I'll show you how I'm going to get all these planted. Alright guys, so we're going to start with gladiola corms. And I got to say I love these things because they're easy to grow. They're absolutely beautiful. The bulbs are cheap to buy. And they also make amazing, beautiful cut flowers. So potentially we could sell these to a floral shop, or maybe we could even make our own floral designs and arrangements and sell them ourselves. But I gotta admit guys, I can barely match my shirt and shorts on most days. I'm a guy. I'm not the best at color coordinating, so we should probably leave the arranging to the professionals. But it's still fun to think about, fun to try. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these corms here, and a corm is a little bit different than a bulb, and it will make little bulblets at the bottom of this. So when we dig these up later in the year, we are going to get more corms from what we've just grown. Alright, just to give you an example of what I'm going to be doing to this whole bed, because I'm not going to bring y'all along to plant 50 bulbs. That would just be way too long of a video. I'm going to put these about 6 inches down and about 5 inches apart. So about like that. And I'm going to stagger these as I go along, where I can get more per space. So when I say staggered, it'll be something like that, putting a bulb in between the other two bulbs in the next row, and that just means you've got more space per bulb. So I'm going to keep doing this as I go through the raised bed, and we'll go on to the next set of seeds. Now comes the part I talked about in my last little mini video. We need to cover the soil. In that video I talked about using things like leaves and straw, stuff like that. But we could also use a living mulch that serves as a double benefit. Instead of putting leaves and stuff like that, we're going to plant a cover crop of Alyssum. This is a wonderful little low growing ground cover plant that's going to take the place of those weeds that would be coming up in there, we hope. And it's a wonderful plant for the bees. Smells super sweet, beautiful, make a little carpet of snow white flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the directions on here, and it says plant these 6 inches apart, but let me show you these seeds real quick. Yeah, just let me show you what Alyssum seeds look like. I don't know how in the world they plant them 6 inches apart. I guess if you really can see them well, or maybe if you were to plant these out in their own little containers and get them started inside, that'd be a little bit easier. I wish I would have done that. But look at these things. Look at this. Get these up. Oh my. This is probably 300-400 seeds. That is a lot of seeds, and they're tiny. So I'm gonna do my best. I may just have to kind of sprinkle them out as thinly as possible, and hopefully we can get this to come up as our ground cover. So I'll get right back with y'all in just a little bit. Next up, I have an awesome example of how we can grow multiple different plants in one area based on how they grow. So we've got 3 different growing areas here. We have our vertical surface, that's our cattle panel archway here. So we can grow some vining plants here. We have our raised bed down here where we can grow some root zone kinds of plants, our bulbs and things. And then we have the surface area where we can grow our ground covers and cover crop area. So we're gonna get 3 different kinds of plants into one area, one small raised bed. So let's go over what we're gonna talk about in this raised bed. So check it out, guys. I've got some carrots that I planted back here last fall that overwintered. So I guess I'm gonna have myself a little snack in a little while, dig these up. But once I got those dug up, we're going to plant our lilies. This is gonna be our root zone. So this is some Oriole Lilies. They're perennials, so we don't have to dig these up like we will the gladiolas at the end of the year. These should be fine. We're gonna mulch them over as well to provide a little extra insulation. And hopefully in a few years, these will start to multiply and we can divide these out and have ourselves some more lilies. So I'm gonna plant these back here. That's gonna be our root zone. And along the back side of this raised bed, we have our vertical growing zone with our cattle panel. We're gonna plant some sweet peas, and hopefully it's not too late to plant these. It's a little later than I would like. We're gonna plant these along the back side, and hopefully the passion vine won't jump up and take them over, but if it does, oh well. We're gonna plant those along the back side, and on our ground cover, we're going to plant some more Alyssum, but we're going to do a different kind. We've got a purple variety here. We're gonna plant those out along this raised bed and have our ground cover that way. So let's get to planting. All right, so let's see what we got in here. We've got 1, 2, 3 lilies. This one's already coming up, ready to go. So we're gonna plant these out here, and I've got a few more to go in here. I think we're gonna have 6 altogether. So you wanna plant these like the gladiolas, pointy side up. We're gonna plant these about 6 inches deep as well, and about 6 inches apart. And I'll bring you a little bit closer here in just a second. Okay, just to show you what's going on here, we're gonna dig a 6-inch hole. That's gonna be about 3/4 of the way down our bed here. And we're going to just put in our first lily, about like so, and cover it up and go over 6 inches, not 5 inches this time, but we're going to go over 6 inches in spacing and plant our next one. And we're just going to keep going with this, and I'll get back with y'all when we plant the next set of flowers. Okay, so I have 6 Oriole Lilies planted in this bed. Now let's talk about the vertical space, and we got to work quick because it's about to start raining, and we got to get more plants out than what we already have. So I've got these sweet peas here. We're gonna plant these along the back side of this bed about every 3 inches, and we're gonna thin them down to every 6 inches. I would normally just plant them at 6 inches if I had a lot of space to cover, but got a lot of seeds and not much space. We might even go plant some on the other side of this archway as well if we have enough. So just gonna put these in about every 3 inches along this back side. We'll go on to the next plant. Okay, so we got all of our sweet peas planted. We got them 3 inches apart, 2 inches deep along the back side. And I went and planted some on the other side because I had extra. Now we're going to do our ground cover, kind of like with our gladiolas over here. We're going to plant some Alyssum. It's going to make a great ground cover, keep the weeds suppressed, have beautiful purple flowers this time, and they're going to smell incredible. So I'm just going to go along here, plant these very small seeds, just kind of sprinkle them along the top, and I'm just going to lightly dust them over. That's all we're going to do with these. Simple enough, and we'll go on to the next set of flowers after that. Okay guys, we're down to our last bed. We've already got some flowers growing in here that I planted back in the fall. If you see this over here, that's larkspur, a beautiful purple flower that could be used as a cut flower. They're gorgeous, they're one of my favorites. You seed those out in the fall, they'll come up in the spring. And in this bed, we're going to add to those some stock. It's just S-T-O-C-K. These are beautiful. Oh, they smell super good. These can be used as cut flowers. I would like to have planted them when they're more at this stage, but these started flowering on me a little faster than I thought. So we're gonna get these in the ground. We're gonna space them probably a foot, maybe apart, a little bit more. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. So we're gonna get these put in there, and then after that, we're going to do a mix of our Alyssum again. We're gonna mix some purple and some white in here for a good ground cover to cover this soil. So let's get these in the ground. I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. All right guys, we've got all of our stock planted out. We've got our Alyssum seed put out, got our larkspur coming up in places. This will be beautiful when it all comes up. So we got everything planted out now, you guys. It was so much fun. I'm so glad y'all could come along with me to get our hands dirty. And of course, I'll keep you updated along the way to show you how these progress and how they're doing. Hopefully they do great. We have some beautiful flowers to use and look at this spring and summer. So if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you have any more questions about anything I did along the way, leave them down in the comments. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe and go check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, I hope you'll join me right here on The More You Grow.